A bit of a dismantlement on Nuke, but that's now over. They put it behind us, and Vince, we turn our attention to Inferno. Now we're talking the map pick of FURIA, but I don't think it's that bad of a place for Chaos to try and give us a fight.
No, not at all. I think this is a fairly comfortable map for Chaos. My concern is, Scrawny, what we just saw was, let's be honest, a demolition. Even though it was maybe not a complete stomp in terms of scoreline, it could have been much worse. That second half, every round was basically up for grabs. So I think coming into this second map, because of how well FURIA just played on Nuke, now they move to their choice. I don't think it's going to fare much better, and they're on the CT side. So all of the pressure and the emphasis on Chaos to show us what they've got, and they're going to have to show us in this pistol as they go aggressively up second mid.
Look, I'm kind of down to see this T side first, because remember, Chaos, they chose to begin on T side.
True.
And that's exactly what they did versus Liquid as well. And we saw why, Vince. It's kind of like they got to play their game, and then they just couldn't hold on to the second half when Liquid started to batter them and bruise them a little bit. If you know that if FURIA are going to get aggressive and set the tempo in the second half when they're on T side, try and get your textbook implemented first and foremost. But it's not working too well. Not because the play's not good, but rather the frags are looking fantastic for FURIA. There was definitely wiggle room there for Chaos. They had their opening on Arch. They got a player out Balk. You know, they had moments where they could have, and maybe should have, slipped into CT spawn with a frag to their name, but it was just not enough kills in the pistol. So FURIA, they'll take that first one, buy up the 3 MP9s, the M4 for Yuri, and Vinny has a FAMAS.
Oh, that pistol makes me feel like it's just going to be a continuation of Nuke. Chaos in a bit of trouble. Very hot on Banana is John G's feet, and now he's going to be finished off. MP9 aggression from Art while a flashbang comes out from Zeppa. Not enough to deter him from picking it all up. And with the kills comes some counter utility. They did prioritize the utility over a couple of weapons here. They could have gone for the likes of MAC-10s, but they decide against that. But the only utility's basically done nothing for Chaos. Barely any damage to Art. They still have control over top Banana. They're going to go back in again and again and again with this FAMAS and MP9. And it's Vinny's FAMAS that rings out next. Zeppa. He dealt the fatal blow. Are there even going to be a single kill posted up from the T's? Maybe Steel can get it done with the Deagle. Indeed, he can, but Art with the MP9, not going to be too bothered about that. Steel gets 2. Not quite a third, but not far off. Did tag Yuri.
I see our bad manners are also transitioning from Nuke to Inferno, and I'm okay with that. Get a little spice in the server, Vince. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath here this third round, though. Hang on if you are Chaos. Let's take a look at the buy as well. Art, CZ. 2 MP9s left, so you're thinking Quesarado and Henny should be a little bit more unleashed than the rest of the pack. Gun rounds will soon be upon us. So this is their final easy chance at racking up some money. Grenade down Banana, doesn't quite find contact. Insignificant damage versus Zeppa. So they just hold 4 guys T-ramp and hope somebody gets overly aggressive. Nobody actually makes that move. Quesarado at the top of Banana has a teammate's flash. Prime him for the peak. A fresh reload, and Vinny looks to keep him alive, but he does die. That's one of the MP9s to hit the dirt. Art, CZ connects to the head, and Steel, with a picked up weapon, starts to rack up the costs here. FURIA, 2 players make it through. That's their M4 and the FAMAS. So they lose the CZ and the 2 MP9s. That's all negligible. Easy reinvestment for FURIA after the 3-0 start. And of course, Chaos's first real buy.
Considering only pistols came in, that's actually a solid round from Chaos, with some MP9 frags put in there as well. You can see the effect it has. Quesarado, Art, and Yuri, all below $1,000. If they can get successful in this, it's going to yield well, and Art gets destroyed and pummeled by Molotovs. He goes back on another one. Confusing to him and myself, because he was in a smoke. So I'm not sure how that Molotov snuck its way behind the barrels, but he survives. Somehow Henny also survives with HEs and grenades flying around and being flung onto the site. Leaf straight out into the open as he goes in for the kill. In the blink of an eye, 3 players die on both teams. Vanity goes to retrieve the AWP. And it all falls down on the shoulders of Art. He does have 9 HP, but an AWP by his side. And it's not going to be able to flick in time for Vanity's aggression. Chaos get their first round.
Here we have it. Vanity slipping out with that bomb, finding the op shot. Low HP for Art because of that utility at the B site, but Vanity, good entry on the AK. Seals the deal with the sniper. Gets Chaos on the board. 1 gun round, 1 round win. That bodes well for Chaos. Of course, the situation that FURIA are left in is the double sniper setup. Very cool. We saw a round just like this on Nuke. Oh, that got all of the momentum taken away from Chaos. And I see the momentum that they could create off of this round. It's a matter of converting. Art, he wants to get boosted, or is he just going to go for the dry peek? Regardless, Leaf, he's opened it up. Oh, a collateral shot, a follow-up connect. Zeppa takes 2 to the chest, and Art still holds his ground. Vinny will boost him to try and regain some sort of vision, but there is so much smoke on Banana that they just fall back, and they're going to try their hand at the A site instead, but Steel, he walks into the lying weight of Henny, who goes through smoke only to be popped by Leaf. Good job by Leaf to find that space, to create it, and make it a possibility for his team to still walk away with this. Vanity bomb plants in the back of the site, which opens up that lane wrap. Leaf, he's going to go ahead and try and close it with the first headshot onto Vinny. It's looking good, but Art's able to respond with the op. 3 kills and 3 snipers left over. Vanity trying his damnedest to keep it kicking. Hits the headshot off the sidearm, but Art's got the 4K. He starts it on Banana and finishes the show on A.
That is such a special round from Art, man. Like, that is the exact reason why I love watching this guy so much. Just watch his aggression in that Banana play. He was just chomping at the bit, every single opportunity being afforded. And you can see that Chaos were in a position where they're like, okay, he's not going to re-peek, surely. There's a Molotov been put down there. Smokes it, another re-peek, another re-peek. Like, how do you predict Art's play? He's just everywhere all at once. And now Chaos do have enough money to at least get another buy, but they're dipping down to a CZ on Zeppa only, and FURIA, after forcing and maybe being broken down, now in a good position again. But Vanity, some hyper-aggressive plays, ruthless through middle, unrelenting, looking to try and skewer and pivot onto the site, where 1 player remains. That's only Henny with an MP9, but he's gonna get found, tagged and fragged from Steel from the backside. Now Serato aggressive through the smoke. There's so many gaps being plugged in from Chaos, but it seems like finally this aggression is going to fall on deaf ears. And Chaos gonna play the Symphony for a second round. I don't think Vinny is actually that interested, maybe looking at exits or picking up an upgraded weapon over this MP9. But in terms of where the round will fall down, surely this is Chaos's to lose. Leaf gets caught. No damage really inflicted to Vinny in that engagement. And now Vinny may get baited back in. He's got a kit. He's got all the pieces of the puzzle to put into place. But he has no idea where the remainder of these 2 teams are. They're both on the site, nearly gets the spray into effect, but Steel holds the line, as do Chaos.
I can absolutely get behind that round, Vince. Chaos taking a page out of FURIA's playbook, going for that straight up A aggression. Vanity just running through the front of a Molotov to get around Arch side first and foremost. And he doesn't actually end up getting any kills, but he led the way for his team to follow suit. Everybody follows through, which now screws the cash of FURIA. They are back onto the pistols. We saw Art go big with a round where he had an off, but can they do it with just the sidearms? Maybe, just maybe. Had he been able to slip back with the weapon, they would have a better chance. But an opening kill versus Jonji, substantial damage against Steel. All still signs of the possibility for an upset. Vinny's gonna lose half of his health as Vanity spams smoke convincingly. CT's split to the 2-2, and clearly Chaos, they want to go for that A site yet again. And they should be able to smash through it, unless FURIA gets so close that they never even get a chance to exit door.
Oh my god, that shot from Yuri is ridiculous. And because he gets the kill in pit, do you expect his second to be up on balcony? Probably not. Does that bait Zeppa into playing aggressively? They still are yet to get the bomb planted because effectively the bomb carrier is all by his lonesome. Leaf is stuck on the site. He needs someone to help him out, and they weren't anticipating the play on balcony because if they are, there's no way he goes for that plant. And now Case Dorado with his 5-7 comes into action, and Furia with just pistols pull it back and pull the wool over Chaos's eyes. That is going to sting for quite a while to come yet. Chaos, they had the same kind of situation on Nuke, where they got these opening ways, and then pistol rounds came in from Furia and completely took all the wind out of their sails.
Ouch. Because not only does it happen on Nuke, Vince, but it's happened twice already, 7 rounds deep. We had it, that double sniper setup where they afforded ops for their armored players and everybody else was left on those limited pistols. We had Art go big with the 4K that round that closes in the 1v1. Funny enough, this time, a similar situation, but with less of a chance of success, having only pistols, and it somehow finishes more convincing. I think you are absolutely on point when you say that that second player on balcony was never suspected, because him dropping the bomb planter is what really put things into a pickle. Had bomb actually gone down, Vanity doesn't have to try and force the fight versus Library, but can just stay tucked in the cubby where he had already successfully gotten a kill. That one absolutely has to sting, as if they weren't already stung. Art sees a player close, he's going to go into that peak as he would every time, but he dies. And now it's Case Dorado's job to try and close this gap. Zeppa, he swoops in on him. And Zeppa could very well be dishing back the damage. Oh, but he gets naded by Vinny. Perfect frag. Fantastic placement. And that then gives him a chance to cut off any players from the site itself. It's Jonji to hold him, which he will. A crucial kill for Jonji. Yuri landing one through the smoke with his teammate nowhere to be found. Chaos, thanks to Zeppa's 2K opening on Banana, may have just robbed one back.
Oh, they certainly have, because Furia want to save. A lot of that came down to Vinny's play from Coffin. I feel like if he gets the kill through the smoke, they go for that. Yuri actually went for a spray and landed one onto a B player that was crossing through the CT side, but they didn't want to push behind it. They want to play for the longer haul. It kind of said that on Nuke as well. Some of the saves afforded them more opportunities when it came to striking back while the iron was hot. And I think it's going to be more of the same. With these two save weapons, they could feasibly go for a couple of drops. It's going to be an awkward position economically. You can see a couple of players down there, like 1,500, 1,600. So it may be a force buy, but at least it gives them some opportunities going forward. But great for Chaos. You know, we just said how much of a stinging blow that last round had to have been. The best possible remedy, the best cure is to come straight back in with your own round and put the pressure back on your opponents. Now they can just forget about all of that and focus on the round at hand.
Lots of utility being exchanged again on Banana. That's a crucial gunfight. It's been a key piece for Art's success, and also the most recent with Zeppa. Oh, but through the smoke, a second spray could have connected. It's Zeppa who dies, and then Yuri hits the headshot through the smoke, through the wall, through the brain of Leaf. 3 layers to that third frag. Chaos going to be feeling the heat after that one. And Bomb being still back in spawn just tells me they're not quite ready to make their commitment, but Steel feels as though he can connect something here on A. That grenade, absolutely worth its weight in gold. Ooh, M4. Nice little pickup there for Steel. Maybe they can go all in on one bomb site, now knowing that Furia have to go into a split defense. So at least they'll get an isolated 2v2. If they can get both kills without losing a player, maybe they win this post plant.
Secondary smoke being lined up for Coffins. And you did just toss one out onto CT. Flashbang over onto CT side additionally. Vinny on the side, a little bit slow to react. I'm not too sure what happened there, but Case Dorado also fell down. just afterwards. So this 2v4 is very much a doable situation now. Steel's going to get the drop on Henny. He's not going to check the angle. And Steel can now fall back into the CT side. Yuri making moves in. Does have a kit, but no utility to play with. Hefty damage to Vanity, who's now been finished off. And Yuri still with plenty of time. Doesn't have to force the issue too hard. Steel playing the angle perfectly, knowing this next bullet could secure the round for the CTs. Tickles the bomb. Steel's not falling for it. He's biding time. He's taking this away. And Steel showing that experience exuding through him. And FURIA have to save.
2 big brain plays, Vince. First of all, they get the 2 clean kills immediately once they got on that bomb site. And I don't know if you noticed, but as Steel slips through the smoke and takes that position on tree, Henny is just arriving in spawn. Vanity spams through the smoke as if not knowing whether something's on the other side. And that is the reason, I believe, that Henny doesn't check that tree. Because he had gone for those spam shots as if to take the chance. As if Steel didn't already know that close construction door was clear, because he was waiting for exactly that. And then that alternative angle all the way back in T-spawn, tucked behind the column. Dude, very nice. I think you put it perfectly. His experience shines through. And he had kept them committed to that A site, if we go back even further into the round, by showing presence on balcony, by throwing the frag grenade in, by softening them up, by delaying them, and their rotation gives them just enough time. And they are absolutely flexing the weapon advantage here in the 10th round. Chaos are about to tie this game, having won 2 rounds they weren't supposed to. Kind of getting back at FURIA from the lost rounds of nuke. Zeppa, he stays tucked in case they continue to chase, and yeah, that's going to give him at least 1 more. 3 players for Chaos head to that A site. Bomb plant confirmed. As said, we have a tied game, Vince. I see why they start on the T side. Let's them set the precedent. Let's them set the pace.
Perhaps a bit unorthodox, but as you said, you can't argue with the results. Not only will it be tied, but FURIA forcing into this round, looking at a very real possibility of saving. And that could get Chaos catapulted into the lead. Start to mount the pressure on FURIA. Now, we know FURIA's T side is nothing to scoff at. These guys definitely can come back from hefty deficits. I have no doubt about that at all. But we have a much smoother, closer encounter than Nuke. And I, for one, love to see that come into fruition. It will likely be a save. I can't really see them justifying buying behind this AK. As aggressive as FURIA are, they must realize the economy a little bit more important, but K-Serrato also had a 5-7, so he can drop that to one of his teammates. It's going to be to Yuri, and they pick up a bit of utility, but that's basically it. So I don't want to say this is Chaos's round, Scrawny, because we have already seen 3 or 4 times today the FURIA have won rounds like this, but surely one of these has to work out, right? Is it
that's the trap, man. That's the pitfall. I think we just remove it from our vocabulary, Vince, because honestly, K-Serrato already proving that they are not going to go down with as much ease as Chaos would please. We have that T-side smoke popping outside of library, meant to cut off any rotator. Henny's probably just going to sprint right through it. He has very little to lose. Yuri now has the confirmation of players up from short, but Henny's weaponry lets him down. K-Serrato through the smoke, though. He finds the headshot onto Vanity, and he does have the armor, plus the gun, and the skill to close this clutch. But he's met by a flashbang and a smoke. Still lines up another kill. And he knows that instead of walking through that smoke, he has to wrap around to short side. He doesn't have a kit. I wouldn't go Balk, but he will. He's trying to find that timing, because by the time he arrives on balcony, look, it's the perfect position to deal with Leaf, who decided to tuck on Graveyard. K-Serrato, he calls it out. I wouldn't go Balk, but K-Serrato would, and that is why he is one of the best in the business. He plays down the time to a wire, and still, he gets the clutch.
That's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. I can't believe I even said at the start of the round that surely one of them has to go the way of Chaos, and then that happens. K-Serrano happens. He cultivates the clutch out of nothing, conjures it, and FURIA have the 6-5 lead. Chaos at least can buy it again. It doesn't completely cripple them economically, but it probably does mentally to a degree. You can't really justify losing that big grenade. Through on second mid, Zeppa and Jonji eating the bulk of that. Falls back into position, does Henny, realizing the situation. They peek him one by one. Never a great idea against someone of Henny's caliber. And he is going to put them down with ease at that. Art waiting, right place. Once that smoke clears, leaves Sagana in the head. And now Vanity, who does not have control of the bomb, at least up close, could get the drop on Henny, turns his back, and FURIA bounce back with a clean sweep round, building that economy and shattering Chaos in the process.
That one's just cookie cutter clean. You put FURIA back on full weaponry, and are you shocked that they start winning rounds? I mean, they're pulling them out of the hat, Vince. I think you put it best. They're just conjuring them out of thin air, man. Some sort of witchcraft going on here. Makes me a bit nervous. And I think the same could be said for Chaos. But remember, they did decide to start on this T side, and they have gotten themselves 5 rounds. There is still room for them to finish with a lead. That very unlikely, seeing as just pistols in this one. But a 6th round? A 7th? Absolutely, they have a chance. Just worries me for their future hopes, of course, knowing that FURIA are soon to take to the T side, and then they can absolutely rush you and pummel you as quickly as they choose. Art, looking to hold the line with the op here, gets nearly gunned down by the rush, but Vinny slips right in to lend a helping hand, and he will close with that 3rd. So between him and Art, it's the full house down banana. FURIA confirmed their lead after the first half, absolutely, but by how many is the last remaining question. 2 rounds to go. Chaos back in with a bye. A full-fledged rifle round. No limitations. An actual chance.
Chance on the 6th round, perhaps. FURIA with double orbs. Have Art perched on banana. Henny, meanwhile, using his over on short side, looking into middle. Have had a couple of aggressive rounds from Chaos through mid, so he's going to hold position for now. Needs to be wary of Boiler. Additionally, has Yuri watching his back. But it's good crossfires being established from FURIA early on, and Chaos clumped together at the bottom of banana. They have seen a bunch of grenades already connect down on here, so they're not expecting too many more behind it. I've seen a lot of rounds where FURIA tossed down 1, 2, or even 3 incendiaries to deal with this. Incendiary a little bit slower, but singeing the toes of Jonji, forcing out a Molotov. FURIA already eating a lot of the round away, and Chaos haven't really done a great deal. Don't have a ton of map control, don't have middle control, don't really have apps either. So they're going to be pushing up close. Smoke's now being put down. Art comes in with 1. Vinny holds the line for a secondary frag, and Art is waiting. He knows this player has to peek, but Zeppa up on the crates anticipates Art's aggression because, of course, he's going to play that angle. And now it's a 3v3 with 30 seconds left on the clock.
Ooh. And Steele, he just slipped around CT spawn. If he doubles back into library, then Henny is screwed. But Henny just served as a distraction to topple Leaf. Still, the back of Henny open. Steele, he could play this, but instead he executes, knowing that the other player's in pit. He sees Yuri can't manage. Zeppa can. His 3rd frag of the round. And now, the 1v1 we all want. It's wild that Zeppa holds that balancing act at top banana to kill the op in Art. K-Serrano comes back in around from mid. I'm not going to question which route he takes. He can do as he chooses after having already thrown that 1 clutch into the air. Now Zeppa, he takes this patient angle back around on long. He's going to come back for bomb. K-Serrano making noise on sight. Tapping it. Has a little bit of cover. Zeppa in the open. K-Serrano hoping he can get the kill. But not this time around. Chaos with a 6th. And a very real chance, Vince, at closing this first half as close as can be.
They are going to be up against the full buy. Sure, I mean, a lot of the rifles, to be fair, they've actually won. It's been mainly these pistol rounds that they've been conceding. Case Narado, a bit unfortunate. I think the time had him beat anyway, regardless of Zeppo's peak at the end. He tapped in, he was waiting for a peek from Pit, wasn't forthcoming. And now he's going to decide that he wants blood, but Steel takes him out with the Mach 10 point blank range. Smoking out to try and keep himself alive. Maybe he can go pick that gun up. And some more aggression down middle now, this time from Art. He's going to go the same way. Steel anticipating it, continues to push. Henny has to smoke this off, and now it's Steel's turn to go aggressive. He wants to show FURIA just how frustrating it is. But he won't be getting kills because FURIA only have 2 players left. They've been thinly spread out. Yuri pushes through, I should say, the Molotov and does get punished by Steel, who's had a beautiful round. And that's 7 rounds you're talking about, Scrawny. I mean, that's looking like a formality at this point.
Steel's just had himself quite the good series. That's what I'm most impressed with. And especially here on Inferno. He's making a lot of playmaker moments, like jumping through smokes with the Mach 10, grabbing the op off of the corpse, and then in the end, leading his team to, as said, a close half as can be. 8-7, the edge to FURIA. Join us after the break. (8-7), the score at the end of the first half. Chaos choosing to begin on the T side, and now it's FURIA's turn to try and crank that aggression. We know what they do. Chaos know what to expect, but it's not a matter of figuring FURIA out. It's a matter of handling what they offer, Vince. And this second pistol could set a real precedent as to what is to come throughout this second half. We've got 3 players for FURIA trying to barrel up. Banana, Vanity looking to hang on, but they then stop in their tracks Because despite their best efforts and despite that early damage, there is still 0 kills.
No kills thus far. They're going to go for a reverse wrap. They push through B towards A. The bomb is currently in the apps area. It's about to dart out, and Chaos have kept 2 players over here. K Serato gets a shot in his way out. Vanity's going to get plugged in. What an interesting round that is from FURIA. And it's looking like it's going to take the round out of the hands of Chaos. It's a 1v4. Zeppa's going to fall. I love that. A change up on the Classic. You typically wrap onto B. That's the other way around.
I think the B to CT A wrap has to be the rarest pistol round strategy on Inferno, but obviously it works. And I think one of the reason it works is because Chaos do have an affinity for playing Coffin on that B site. Keep your eyes on it. You know, I've seen Zeppa many times go big from Coffins on that back construction door. They let T's into the bomb site and then fight them from a kernel defense and construction. But if you kernel up like that, there's nobody to stop you from wrapping CT to A. It's just the fact that you don't think of it all too often, because that's a really weird play to make, but it works. In fact, it worked perfectly. Once they got over to that A site, Vince, there was non-existent defense for Chaos. They tried, but it was all empty-handed. So now look at the effort on this. We've got 3 AKs plus the Galil plus the MAC-10, and it's the rifles to get the job done. Even despite walking into the 4-man stack, that brackets crunch set up by Chaos, they get nothing for it, just the damage. But damage is temporary. Rounds are permanent. And FURIA are about to take double digits first and foremost. A 3-round lead over top of Chaos before they've even had a chance to buy guns. Yeah. But that's what you look for. Little Deagle prowess, and Jonji, he's going to jump into his death. K Serato lies in wait. Jonji, a player who across the tournament, again, was turning my head, who had me convinced that he was at an all-time peak in form. This has not been his series, but there is still time.
It really hasn't, and it's a shame to see. But maybe he can still step it up. Love that play from K Serato at the end, knowing Jonji wants to go salvage the weapon. He just sits in close with the MAC-10, knowing that his prey is going to walk into him. Chaos, not going to have really anything. Couple HEs, they have a Deagle, that's it. And they're going to go for a stack as well on this B side. K Serato goes in first. They're still keeping the bomb centralized in middle. So if the worst comes to worst and K Serato pushes in and dies, they can quickly go onto the A side. He sees one. Now he sees a ton of grenades in. Really cool strat from Chaos. But I love that FURIA don't go too overzealous. They're okay with putting the expendable MAC-10 in first. They don't run in the rifles behind it. And now they will reap the rewards, yield the fruits of their labor with a free plant on 8, and more than likely the round to follow up. There's not too much to save if you're Chaos. They may treat this as a sort of tactical timeout, I guess, and have a discussion amongst themselves, but no Kevlar, no upgraded guns, no real hope.
Their hope resides in weapons, I think. Just write off what has already slipped past. Put your foot down early on this CT side. Jonji, if you watch this back, send me a message, man. I'm going to buy you a new internet connection. I swear this guy's been lagging over the last 48 hours, Vince. I'm not mad. His teammates were talking about it. Oh, almost gets the kill as well versus Art. But of course, as Art does, he walks away with 1 HP.
Yeah, I noticed it seemed like he was either lagging or getting FPS problems against Cloud9 and ZPG in the first time they played them. So I don't know how much it's affecting him.
Must be that rural Canadian internet.
It's very possible. I hope it's not playing into his mind too much, because those are the kind of things that can actually burrow deep and make you perform less. It's kind of a placebo effect in the worst way. And speaking of the man, he goes aggressively into Banana. Player to his right-hand side. He has no idea. K Serato is waiting patiently, maybe too patiently. That's not something we say too often about FURIA. But hang on a second. Showing no presence in Banana may have forced an over-rotation. Chaos dipping out with 1 player. Thought they were going to rotate 2. Not the case. They keep a low Zeppa and Jonji alongside him, and FURIA are about to pull the trigger. They're about to press the button and get up close and personal with these weapons. Molly's raining fire on the site. Brimstone everywhere you can possibly see. Jonji tries to thread a kill through the smoke. Won't be forthcoming. Post-plant comes into effect. And with 10 players left on the server, you feel like the CTs have got a real shot at this, but they lack utility. They have no incendiaries left. They only have 1 HE, and I think that's why they're pulling the plug. They just do not feel confident about this retake at all. But that kill from Jonji, does that keep a couple of them interested? No. He still falls back.
Yeah, get out of there. Walk away, buddy. You got to know when to fold them. And this is one of those moments. But yeah, that is weird, right? K Serrato sitting on the side of the smoke, like hyper passive. I mean, if that's art, he 100% peeks into Jonji, gets the kill, and they just try and tear through. But it still worked. It's like K Serrato had a moment to learn. It's like FURIA, Vince. They're getting even better. Now they can straight up rush you down and also just patiently wait an inch away from your face. They go ahead and think to themselves that it must be A. There's no presence anywhere on Banana. In reality, K Serrato was there the whole time. He's in the walls. He's in their head.
And he's in the lead by 5 rounds. Chaos having a bit of a struggle of this CT side thus far. FURIA anticipating that maybe some aggression will be coming down middle. Henny will spray through, nothing there, but Steel is aggressive. It's just a different location. He's moved into the bedroom and he's playing an off angle to try and propagate his team into an advantage if someone jumps up from the ladder way into the window. Now, it doesn't look like that's going to come into play. Here's a smoke and a Molotov behind it. I'm going to stall the tease that little bit longer. And I thought Steel might try and push in, knowing that they'd be stalled on Banana if they're pushing in there. He can maybe start to wrap around the back of them. And as soon as the call comes through, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Steel quickly push around the back of the tees. As soon as this first point of contact is spotted, expect to see that rotation come in. Here he goes, Steel sprinting, needs to get there as quickly as possible, needs his teammates to hold the line. Jonji's doing an exquisite job. 2 kills alongside Leaf, but now they're falling. The damage, though, significant. Everybody from FURIA is feeling it at this point. And with 38 seconds left, now Steel's rotation comes into effect. He doesn't get the opening pick, but this is going to keep some of the teams interested, but he needs the rest of his team to survive. A flank is only as strong as the foundation on which it's built upon. And now that bomb has been planted. Leaf still trying to keep them busy, but Steel's not going to feel comfortable about going for this peak because he's on low HP. Vanity dying is so brutal for Chaos. And as Steel, you can see he's itching to get out of here. Flashbang comes in, but there's the shutdown. Oh, I feel so bad for Steel in that round, Scrawny.
I'm right there with you. He has the flank moving in. It's this play from Yuri. First of all, getting the pick, but look at that. Just through a smallest of gaps. Vanity maybe taking 1 or 2 steps too far. Gets shut down. And I mean, very elegantly painted, Vince. It can only be as good as the foundation it's set upon. And then the moment that kill happens, you could see Steel like just inching closer, knowing that he still has to make the flank play, but now knowing that the terrorists assume his position, he still gets the 1 kill. There was still a teammate's flash to work with, but that very quick setup between 2 of FURIA's players to just hit him with the double peek. Jonji? Jonji? Hello? Vanity finds the op shot at the top of mid, which will give Chaos something to play with. One of their operas can shoot. Of course, it is just the tech issue. We poke fun at Jonji's unfortunate situation. K Serrato calls his teammates into action, and there's a perhaps saving grace for Vanity. He is not alone here. He has Zeppa in the back of the bomb site. His sniper hungry for more targets. However, problem being, he's now lost his vision, so that pressure does fall onto the shoulders of Zeppa, and he's got a very skinny pillar to try and hide behind. Yuri takes his head. Bomb not yet planted. Vanity has to be cautious, but Leaf does move over, finding further damage into Vinny. We talked about Steel's flank, and Vince, it could come into fruition yet again. Yes, Vinny's head completely turned. No longer afforded to the T's the ability to just stare at that possibility. Yuri, though, he is 21-9. It is a 2 versus 4 with both of Furia's players in the back of the bomb site. Steel cuts down yet another, and the Opper falls. Chaos with an 8th round, despite it being 4v5 out the gate.
We may have a bit of time to discuss a few things here, as Jonji did lag out, so there's going to be some tech issues. I assume we're going to have a technical timeout, but I'm really curious if Furia have made the read here, Scrawny, because that's 2 rounds in a row. Steel has been very quick to react and flank around the back of them. Do they go for a fake hit, or at least try and take control of second, middle, and apps early on? Have they made that read? Because even though Steel 2 rounds ago wasn't successful, mainly because the foundations crumbled underneath their weight, this round he was. He had a huge amount of impact. In a 3v3 to take down the first player puts all the pressure on the rest of the Brazilians. So I want to see how Furia adapt to that. If they do make any changes, or they still feel so confident in their own ability to shut this down that they're not going to bother. They don't really care about it too much. Really curious to see what happens next.
It's going to be a hard one to tell. I think Furia still have some plays up their sleeve as well. Tempered aggression towards Banana is always the start of their T sides. Hey guys. How close can we get?
I can see all the pixels.
Hey there. North America's hope, ladies and gentlemen. Did you ever own one of those mopeds, Vince? Were you one of those teenagers?
Hell no, dude. I'd have crushed it. Couldn't have took my weight, Chief.
I don't know, man. I could see you zipping and zoodaddling around on one of them bad boys. If you show up to the next open on one, you know, I know you don't like to fly, so maybe that's the solution. Just a little cross-continent moped adventure.
Listen,
What do we have?
Down.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's do it. Or you get one of those motorbikes, you know, with a little side carriage thing.
Yeah.
Easy.
Look at this. Neil M. At what has to be, I'm going to say either DreamHack Open Rotterdam.
Yeah, I think it was Rotterdam with Endpoint, right?
It was crazy.
Oh, crazy. Sorry, my bad.
You are not forgiven. Look at these CTs over here. Everybody's sitting down. Terrace bringing up more energy today. This must be the Furia fans. Still wait on John G to get his problems fixed. So thank you for you guys' patience. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's Friday. Yeah. What does that mean anymore? You know, we live by gamer hours, so I feel like it's always a weekend. No North American matches tomorrow. No, that's right. We have our 2 semifinals. Ooh. Come here often. Sorry, I got distracted. No North American games tomorrow, Vince, because we get our semifinals out of the way today, and then we have our grand finals on Sunday. Tomorrow is just going to be European action, so you guys better wake up early to make sure you catch that. Looks like the story of, I want to say, big versus complexity for the European finals. And it's looking, for the moment, like Furia versus who knows who. Our second best of 3 coming up later. Liquid versus Team 1. Brazilians all over the place. And right now, we've got a bunch of them with a 5-round lead. Welcome back to the game. Thank you for your patience.
It goes to show how deep the player base is for Brazil. There are so many exceptionally good Brazilian players out there. Honestly, spoilt for choice. But the top of the pack, the top of the pile, is Furia. And they have a 5-round lead, 3 rounds away from securing their position in the grand finals. Steel up close with the MP9, maybe waiting for a flashbang from a teammate, or maybe not, just goes straight in. Nearly gets 2. with his wraparound play. Vanity well played for the AWP shot, but K Serato gets Zeppa, who was quickly rotating down Banana. So they did try and take more apps control this time to facilitate stopping that rotation from Steel. But Jonji's waiting. He just saw a pixel around the corner. He knows that K Serato wants in on this action. Smoke goes down on CT side. And now they can push through. The aggression from K Serato gonna get neutralized straight away from Vanity. But at least he's put this down into a 1v2, and it is a post plant as Henny went straight in for the bomb. Now Leaf and Vanity have a smoke between the two of them, also have a kit. Smoke toss to the back of the site. That's not going to affect Henny at all. And if they assume that he's back at New Box, this could open up some hands. Newsboy can spray down with the double. Oh, they baited themselves so hard, Scorny, with that smoke. They guessed wrong and they got punished.
Oh, that stings. Because of the smoke grenade, they're so much more focused over on Dark. And K Serato, this round, showing us he has two sides. One, hiding inside of the smoke at the top of Banana, just like he did versus Jonji a couple of rounds ago. You see him kill Zeppa and use that space creation to charge towards the B site. Jonji looked to keep them honest for a little bit. And then, to contrast it to a smoke camp, he goes for the smoke rush, killing one of the two snipers. But look at the damage from the nades. That is phenomenal. Utility usage coming out of Chaos to absolutely dismantle FURIA at the base of Banana. Perfectly timed, perfectly executed was what I was about to say. And minimal issue. Jonji may be burnt to a crisp. But listen, Chaos still in full control of the situation. You'd think if they somehow manage to find a way back into this, FURIA would absolutely rob Chaos of denying the T side that 15th round. The coveted OT secured. But not quite yet. One smoke for Vinny and Yuri to work with. That leads me to believe they just head towards B, but maybe they want to go for a bit of a pump fake here. Smoke grenade goes up and over. Landing in Graveyard, landing just on the side of sight. What's their move? They see a head. That's huge. Vinny takes it off of Vanity. Now Steel, he can still hold that cross, but Leaf, he's just working with the MP9. He still manages the first one, but Yuri, he has to be cautious of the Opper. And he's given a chance in this post plant. It is Yuri versus Zeppa and Steel. Sniper in the library. AK working through apps, and Steel dives back through Arch to give himself a bit of a different position. Now, Yuri, there's the possibility that he fell back short or moved here into this position. Do they call it? Oh, they do. Absolutely. Zeppa, he gets the better of the timing, Vince. Yuri looks uncomfortable, tries checking left and right, and exposes himself to the clutch for Chaos. They take their 9th. They deny 15.
It's a really solid effort from FURIA in a 2v4. Taking down some extra weapons, forcing those replenish buys. And of course, they have more than enough funds to go for the purchase themselves. And yeah, Yuri never seemed comfortable, did he, in that Graveyard position? I think it's one of those things where you kind of take the risk and you just hope for the best at that point. And there's the Jonji moment. Oh my God. Oh man. When it rains, it pours, huh? Fire, that is. I just don't know how you can justify that. Just straight up murders himself. Jonji though, HE into Banana. Lots of damage down in K Serato. Tagged again, 39 HP. There's Jonji. Wow. Good to see that he's starting to land some kills. Maybe that confidence will build. Not too far off on landing the second shot. Gets tagged down to 31. Needs to make sure he stays alive. Chaos cannot afford any more mistakes. Aren't pushing the smoke into his tomb. K Serato's gonna join him, so at least he's got company in the afterlife. But now Henny goes in with his AK-47. The weakened Jonji has now been finished off. We're 2 players down, and wouldn't you know it, it's Steel with the flank. He's been dealt with, but there's a second player that comes in. The double flank is a success. And the smoke goes down from Banana. Look at how they've locked Henny into play. One smoke top Banana, one smoke bottom. Just choking out his time. They know he has the bomb. They want to play together, but this is actually a winnable round for Henny because these smokes won't last forever. He will have a window of opportunity to piece out of Banana and try and make some plays happen.
Temporary smoke meat sandwich Now he regains that vision on both sides. But which way does he go? 30 seconds. He's still wary that Vanity could be back at the base of mid, but no, it's the double up on B. So you'd think if even he kills Leaf, Vanity wide swings, finishes him off. He has 10 health, Henny. And he's not even gonna, oh wait, he does. I say, not expect the position up above, but he saw a shoulder and almost had a chance to hit that flick. A 10th round for Chaos. The CT side that continues to provide. And the T's will have, or will they? I was going to say have to hold off, but I saw Art get armor. Yeah, that one armor AK. Okay, K Serrato, he sacrifices his bank account to give Art the AK-47. He also has a smoke and the Kevlar to work with. It's a lot of pressure, Vince, for one guy, but we've seen Art take these sorts of moments and absolutely run away with them.
Seen Steel in this very same position in the past. Got a kill last time, landed a headshot. Has he heard the noise? If he has, heard them jump up, this is going to be a double spray. The stilt's cut short. The double kill in effect. The bomb's been dropped as well. This round is somewhat of a gimme now for Chaos. It was looking like it when they came in with just the one AK. The raid boss has been comprehensively killed and cleared out, no problems, and the loot will likely be an 11th round. So I'm happy for Chaos, at least, Scrawny, that we're getting a much closer affair than Nuke, giving a good showing of themselves. It feels like when they do play against these top teams, they always get relatively close. Like, they never get completely banged out. But it's, can they get past 10 or 11 rounds? That seems to be the mark which they typically land at, and then they just fall a little bit short.
Sure. With Furia, I feel like this matchup specifically, it tends to be more lopsided. Their two most recent maps, 16-5, 16-8. But in that series of the 16-8, of course, we had an overtime win for Chaos, that being on Nuke, where we have now seen them fall. And Jonji cleans up those last 2 kills here. So within 3, and more importantly than anything else, it feels, knowing that Furia has had chances, they still don't have that 15th round. So Chaos, they can afford to lose only 1 more. This is a team of players that does not concede, that does not give up. Get as close as you can. Maybe if you're just lucky enough, Furia will let you slip through with that 16th. But what worries me is that any individual on Furia can seemingly take over a round. Now they've got their buyback. Vinny's on the Deagle because K Serrato has his gun. But they hear this jumping, man. This is haphazard. They're taking risks. K Serrato's coming in knowing exactly what's going on. They just go for the jump spot, Vince, and K Serrato is so prepared that he takes both of their heads off. He had a great indication to their position because of those audio cues. And now with the follow-up smoke, Steel, he'll have zero vision on being able to stop that bomb. A 5v3 post plant. I said they did a good job of denying the 15th round, but Furia take this one with absolute ease.
I don't really understand the jumping either, because even if you do have a crossfire put into place, it gives information to the T's that they know where one of those 2 players are. And it just stops the guessing game. When you come around the corner and you have several angles to watch out for, you now know where one angle is. And you can figure out and piece together where that second player is going to be, if there is a second player in the first place. Very, very strange decision. And additionally, just to go back on a point that you raised, which I completely agree with, that is really, in its essence, in its core, why Furia are such a deadly team, because everybody on this squad is capable of madness. You look at the first map, Henny, 1.6 rating with 25 kills. K Serrato, 1.56 rating with 25 kills. Well, neither of them are near the top. It's Yuri now. It's his time to shine. Art, in the previous map, had the least rating, still nearly 1, of course, but he's been their player throughout this tournament that I've been most impressed with. So you have these 3 huge players that still have that potential, that haven't shown up just yet on Inferno. And you're against them, and it's 4 map and match points. And it's going to be hyper-aggressive plays. K Serrato goes in, gets the first pick and the second, and that might be all she wrote for this match.
It's not looking too good here for Chaos, especially as Henny gets another headshot. Yuri finding Leaf. Vanity's going to be stampeded by K Serrato, who to me is the MVP of this second map. Just so constantly in their face on Banana Vint with different flavors, different paces being set, whether he's hiding on smokes or charging through them, shooting at them over the wall, under the wall. It's all too much to handle, and we have to say goodbye to Chaos. FURIA confirmed your very first finalists for DreamHack Open Summer 2020. I would say it's par for the course for the vast majority of expectations. Now, it's just a matter of finding out who joins them. And that's going to be either their Brazilian brethren of Team 1 or North America's newest superheroes coming together in Team Liquid. So join us and our analysts after the break to unpack this one. There is still plenty of Counter-Strike on the menu.
Although Chaos fought until the very end, FURIA ultimately proved victorious on Inferno, and with that, cement their place in Sunday's grand final. They were confident coming into this, and for good reason, Maui. That was an awesome showing from the Brazilian squad.
Oh yeah, Chaos played really well, but FURIA just a step ahead in a lot of these situations. A few clutches going their way. Great opening kills on the side of FURIA. And man, they're just so relentless when it comes to map control. They will not give up any space for free.
That is the perfect way to describe FURIA, I think. Relentless through and through throughout this series. And I believe it was Yuri who actually ended up topping the scoreboard. And he's a player that, we actually don't really speak too much about. I know Vince was talking about it. Everybody on this FURIA side has the ability to frag out. And it's so dangerous when you see these guys coming up. But Yuri, man, he looks so good.
He did look good. And it's always that argument, who's the better superstar? Is it Yuri? Is it Serato? There's a lot of arguments to be made, both fantastic players. And today on this map, actually, it was Yuri to show up hugely towards that A. I mean, he was able to hold down the fort on multiple occasions.
So what can we gain from this matchup? Because obviously, as you said, Maui, Chaos, they had some pretty stellar moments coming into it. But what does FURIA do, in your opinion, just to close this map out?
I think a lot of it was based off of the beginnings of the rounds. Even when they weren't getting that map control, they always had a plan B or knew how to work off of that information really well. I feel like that's just a hallmark of FURIA's gameplay entirely, is that even when the opening picks aren't going their way, because I think Chaos came out ahead that game, FURIA only were able to accomplish 13 first kills in that game. Chaos, they won't always gel as well in the late round, and a lot of that's because Vinny, Serato, Yuri, those closing players on the side of FURIA really know how to work off of the information that Art provides.
Well, Potter, I know you had a particular moment that you wanted to pick apart. Can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, I wanted to visit back to Chaos and their T side. I really appreciated a lot of what Steel and Chaos were bringing to the table. I thought they were doing whatever it took to win a lot of these rounds. You're going to see here banana control for FURIA, full banana control. It was a quick reaction coming out of Chaos, making this fast A wrap, make it work. And it's really Leaf, Zeppa, Vanity taking all the action towards this mid and this A site. If we can go to the point of view of these players, you're going to see Zeppa and Vanity full force jumping through mid. This is a reaction quick play because, as I mentioned, FURIA have been taking over that banana. They're trying to gain that contact. Leaf, he's lurking through the smoke, biding his time. He knows his teammates just made a lot of noise making that mid action happen. So Leaf, he finds himself a kill. Zeppa, he's still gaining that ground, gaining that space, and all the while Steel, he's waiting for that reaction. He's waiting for the CTs to react because they just lost that A site, and he's rewarded with the kill. So I liked the look coming out of Chaos. I thought their T side, it was great. We even saw Steel picking up the op, doing whatever he needed to do, rushing middle, finding the frags, and they made it work, right? I mean, 7 T rounds, it's a good start. Their CT side, it left a little bit to be desired, but man, FURIA, their clutches are just so top notch.
It is unbelievable. I kind of want to touch upon Steel there because I love that you brought him up as a player. And I feel like Maui, we saw, flares of his experience as a player. He's a player that's been to a lot of tournaments, and he did step up on this side.
Oh yeah, definitely. Steel had some great game plans. He even won a 2v4 against Furia at one point that involved just perfect flashes, good smokes. It was basically a two-man exec onto that B bomb site, but they canceled sound for such a long time that Furia didn't know what was happening. A team that usually has all of the information in the world was actually settling into a standard 2-2 setup on the bomb sites, and Steel just called the perfect strategy around that, and then he was able to win out the clutch against Yuri at the very end there.
Yeah, it was kind of heartbreaking to see Chaos losing out on that one. But I think that sound can only mean one thing. It's, of course, the man of the hour, Art, is joining us. Thanks so much for joining us, man. Congratulations on that win.
Yes, hello. Oh, I cannot see myself, but it's all right. I just thought.
You're here, Art. You're definitely here.
I'm here? Nice.
I did want to talk about, that Inferno match. We were maybe a little bit surprised that you guys ended up picking that map out of the bag. And Chaos, they did start to bring it back. What did you kind of focus on those final rounds that allowed you to just close it out?
Before the game, we had a game plan for Inferno because we knew they're not gonna actually study the map because they would make sure that we pick Mirage or something like that. I was thinking like that, but when the map started, we started losing rounds on this side and we just went back to defaults or just punish them because they're playing like loose or maybe aggressive sometimes if MP9 is close by, so we just make defaults and that works.
Oh, okay. I had a question about when you guys went on to I guess okay. There was a round when they did an arch trap against you guys and Henny just shut them down at that arch side. I don't know, did you guys set up in some way expecting that play to come out again, or were you guys just straight up defaulting and that just happened to work like that?
It was kind of default, but we are like expecting a push because they're just playing too passive on banana, so we knew that the a push is gonna be coming soon, so Henrique just planned for that.
Art, I have to ask you about Henny again as well. You know, I noticed on that nuke in the first half, he only had, I think, 4 deaths. And in the total, he only died 10 times. And his kill death ratio is incredible. He always seems to be the player that's left alive at the end of the round 2 clutch. Is that kind of calculated with the team to make him be a more mature kind of passive player? Or is this just what he's developed into?
I think Henny, he has like a passive style, like he's internally passive in the way that he likes to not die, so that's the way he plays, and we kind of force him to play more aggressive sometimes, so the balance comes actually from him being too passive. We call him the baker of the team. That's
so
really
different than when he grew up in the scene. I feel like he was overly aggressive. I feel like when he started in the beginning, he would just sometimes take some risks. But I had another question. When you were at Banana at the half wall, so you had that one round with the op where you just shut them all down, and then I want to say like 3 rounds later with the M4, you just dry swung into 3 of them. I mean, are you just taking those risks regardless of your gun, or are you usually trying to do it with the op? Or, I mean, how do you determine when you actually want to make those pushes or not? Because sometimes they look incredible, like when you shut them down with the op, and then other times you're just swinging into 3 with a rifle dry.
It's hard to say because every round is different. I don't go for the round with a game plan. I just do whatever I see that fits the situation. And most of the time, Inferno, when I play aggressive, I'm not sure if you're mentioning Nuke or Inferno, but Inferno, I think just picking banana, like kind of drive M4, it's affordable because sometimes they're not there and I can get the information quickly. So sometimes just playing aggressive M4 is just more kind of based on information, and if I can get a kill or 2, it's fine. But if I die getting the information, I can kill 1 or just lead them, it's alright as well because the information most of the time is worth it.
Okay.
And with op is just way easier. I can get both information and kills way easier, so it's safer for me.
Now, we heard from Vinny in his interview earlier that he was pretty confident that you guys were going to be making it to the grand final and that you were going to actually be facing Liquid in that grand final. Obviously, we'll find out if that's going to be happening next. But if you guys have you already started preparing for that matchup? Was that already in your head before this?
I have to say yes, because Liquid just one of the strongest teams on A right now, so we kind of have to expect them to face us or either semi-final or final, but we do not prepare for them. We just take one step of a time because we know that every team has a potential upset. So, and I don't think we are so strong that we cannot like undermine these teams like Chaos or even T1 or even every team we play. I don't think we have just to think ahead. We just prepare for each match as we go in the way.
Well, one step
so
at
right
a time.
now we're just gonna wait.
To...
Yeah. We're just gonna wait for Liquid and T1 to see who we face to prepare.
Yeah, it seems to be working out for you just fine, Art. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And yeah, best of luck in that grand final.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Fantastic to hear from the man of the hour himself. And I do kind of want to go back to that because we were talking about, the aggressiveness of FURIA coming into this. But actually, I think it was Connor that picked up on it. There were some passive moments from them. And I feel like that potentially might have caught Chaos off guard throughout this, Maui.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of when they played against Team One on Train, how they always feel like they go into the game, just run their head into whatever the other team is going to throw at them. But if things don't work their way and they have to default, they do have that side of them. They don't have to always go for that push early on. They sometimes will let the action come to them just a little bit. And I think, like you're saying, that there is a little bit of confusion when the other team is just kind of waiting around, where it's like, where's the push from FURIA? Where's it coming? And then they have to be like, okay, I think it's safe now. And they're never really quite sure.
Yeah, it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? You know, you have to expect the unexpected, but then the unexpected doesn't happen. It's just like, where are they going? I think, FURIA have that game plan down very, very well indeed. And I'm so excited to see them in the grand finals. And I think with that, we can take a recap of our NA bracket to see exactly where we are left with after that win from the Brazilian side. Of course, our next match, it's going to be a big one. It's Liquid versus the underdogs of Team One to see who is going to be going through to face FURIA. I'm interested to hear from you, Christine. I'm going to be delving into this one a little bit more in a second, but I don't think anybody really expected Team One to make it this far.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And we just heard Art even say it's right now, everything is neck and neck. You cannot underestimate your opponents moving through. And hey, Team One have made it all the way to the semifinal, and now Liquid, sure, it's Liquid. Just look at those players on that lineup. You know they're going to perform, but this series, it should still be close, competitive.
Yeah, logic would make you think one way, but man, Team One, they don't give anything about logic. They don't care. And I think with that, we can get into our next matchup. We've seen FURIA already secure their fate in the grand finals, but the big question is, who is going to be joining them? Will it be the Giants of Liquid, or will the underdogs of Team One continue their unstoppable run? Find out after this.